Variable expenses are expenses that are affected by changes in your operating activities. Like if your revenue increases, the expenses increases. So they have a relationship between your expenses and the revenue or the activities that the business go into. The variable expenses are things like storage and packaging. It depends on how many product do you want to store or you need to package. Consumables that you are using in operations. If you are busy, you're going to have a lot of consumables. But if you are not busy, you might have zero. Discount allowed. It's influenced by how much sales are you making. And the higher the sales, the likely that your discount that you allow your customers will be higher. So these are the expenses that changes depending on the activities in your organization. So here the system has created the expenses for you depending on the industry. But they might not reflect specifically the industry that you are operating in. So what you can do is, if they don't reflect the expenses that are happening in your industry, then let's say you don't have consumables, you can just click delete. And then if you click delete, then if you click confirm, then that expense will be deleted. But in this case, I'm not deleting it. Then I'll just cancel. And then maybe, okay, let me start in terms of explain all the fields. The first field is description. So basically it's the description of your expenses. The second item is categories. So under categories, you need to indicate if this is the operating expense, is it a marketing expense or admin? So there are three main categories in this for expenses. One, is it operational? Is it directly involved in operation, in you producing your goods and services? And the second one is marketing. Is it part of your marketing activities? So if it's part of the marketing activities, then you can categorize it as marketing. If it's part of the admin, then you categorize it as admin. But most of the time, variable expenses are either marketing or operating expenses. They are hardly an admin, because admin expenses are not directly linked to the operations. So with the admin expenses, most of the time they are fixed expenses. It doesn't matter if you are producing or not, you're still going to incur those expenses. So just keep in mind, the fixed expenses mainly will be your admin expenses, and then in variable expenses, mainly it will be your operating expenses, because as you produce, you'll incur more of those, and as well as marketing, because you need to market your product. The more you sell, or the more you want to enter certain markets, the more you have to spend on your marketing activities. So that's variable expenses. And the percentage of sales. So that is the percentage of sales in terms of that specific expenses. What is in relation to the sale? What is the percentage of that expenses to your sales? So most businesses, like when it comes to marketing and advertising, some they spend maybe 1% of their money on marketing and advertising, and sometimes they spend 5%, 1%, depending on the type of business that you are in. So in this case, if you want to edit, let's say consumables, you want to edit consumables, here is 0.3% of the sales. So basically, this expense will be calculated, the total expense will take the sales for that month and multiply it by 0.3%. So in there, you can change it if it's maybe higher. If let's say if it's 5%, then you can put it at 5%. And then you confirm, and then after you confirming it, you can see at the bottom here, the figure has changed. And then you can do all of them. You read all of them. If it's not relevant, you just click on delete. It gets deleted. If it's relevant but the percentage is not accurate, you just click on edit, and then you change the percentage, and you can change the description. Once you change the description and the percentage, then you need to confirm that the amount is accurate. So you need to confirm all of them. You just have to click confirm so that your dashboard gets updated, because if you don't confirm all of them, your dashboard will not be updated. So you need to confirm that you agree with the percentages and the amounts that are in here. Once you confirm, then it will update your dashboard. Then, similar to all of them, if you want to see a video on how to complete this form, you click on this one. If you just want to read in terms of how to complete this form, you click on this one. If you want to watch a video on the details on what is variable expenses and how do you budget for variable expenses, if you want a little bit more information, you can watch a video on variable expenses. And then if you want to read more about variable expenses, then you just click on variable expenses handbook. Then it will give you a little bit more information on what are variable expenses and how do you account for those. So that's your variable expenses. And once you are done, you go back to the dashboard, and then your variable expenses will be, the data will be confirmed.